So we're going to talk about the cost of living in the US, and we are going to compare East Coast versus West Coast. As you know, these are like the two, like look, when you split the country from a geographical standpoint, one of the things that they do is that they split the country in East Coast versus West Coast. Sometimes they split it in North and South, but in this case, since the East Coast and West Coast represent like the main cities, like in the West Coast you have Los Angeles, you have San Francisco, the whole California state, and then the West Coast in the East Coast you have cities like New York, Boston, and important cities like those. We're going to make that distinction, okay? Before we jump into the reading, there's a couple of terms I would really like to clarify. And the first term is inflation, okay? Inflation happens when the general prices of goods and services increase over time. And it usually appears when production costs rise, demand is higher than supply, or when governments print more money. As a result, the value of money decreases and people can afford less with the same income. Aquí, Adrian, hay un par de términos que me gustaría clarificar. ¿Ok? Por ejemplo, goods and services. ¿Ok? Goods and services son bienes y servicios. ¿Ok? Entonces aquí dice, la inflación sucede cuando los precios generales de los bienes y servicios incrementan en el transcurso del tiempo. Increase over time. Cuando quieres plantear que algo se da en el transcurso del tiempo, you say over time. It usually appears when production costs rise. Usualmente aparece cuando los costos de producción se elevan. La demanda es más grande que la oferta y esa es otra correlación Andrés, que tenemos que aprender. Los términos oferta y demanda es supply and demand. Demand es demanda, supply es oferta. En el caso de la inflación, demand is higher than supply. Okay? Or when governments print more money. And as a result, the value of money decreases. ¿Se acuerdan que habíamos hablado de los verbos increase, incrementar, y que su opuesto era decrease, disminuir? ¿Sí? So increase, decrease, increase, decrease. ¿Ok? Entonces aquí dice, como resultado, as a result, the value of money decreases and people can afford less with the same income. And that makes a lot of sense because if you're printing money, Roxy, I mean, if you want to buy an apple, the apple is the same. You just have more money in circulation. And that's why, things are more expensive. You're using more money, but the product is the same. There's a limited amount of products. And that's why salaries are never able to catch up with inflation. It's a very uncomfortable situation. Then we have recession. Recession is a period when the economy slows down for several months or years. It is often caused by reduced consumer spending, high inflation, global crisis, or financial instability. During a recession, businesses close, unemployment increases, and governments take action to stimulate growth. You don't want to be in recession. Recession is definitely a very negative period of economy. Okay. I think we went through a recession in the US. It was like a 6 months recession, something like that. There are some indicators that they tell you when you're going through a recession. And when the recession escalates, Roxy, then you have depression. Okay. I don't know if if you have read a little bit about, economic history. There was a huge depression in 1929. It's a well-known depression, the Big Depression. That's how they call it, the Big Depression, and it was back in 1929. So when a recession escalates, it switches to recession. It's like an outbreak. Es como la epidemia, si escala se vuelve pandemia. Lo mismo con la recesión. Si escala se vuelve depresión, right? So the next level of a recession would be a depression. Okay? Does that make sense? There you go. So, financial instability, eso sería lo opuesto a financial stability. We're going to read a little bit. So, Roxy, help me out reading the definition of recession. Go ahead, Roxy.
Recession, fire when
a period
when the economy slows down for several months or years. It is often caused because reduced consumer spending, high inflation, global crisis, or financial instability.
Instability, financial stability.
Financial instability. During a recession, business close,
Unemployment.
increase,
Unemployment increases.
unemployment increases, and governments take action to stimulate growth.
There you go. So a couple of things to have in mind here, Roxy. Financial, okay? Financial. Repeat after me. Financial.
Financial.
Desempleo, unemployment. Unemployment. There you go. Unemployment increases and governments take action to stimulate growth. You see, like since the economy is so complicated, you need this government intervention. Does that make sense, Adrian, Jonathan, Andres? Yes?
Yes.
There you go. So let's continue with budget. What is budget? Budget is a financial plan that organizes expected income and spending it. It is created by analyzing earnings, setting priorities, and controlling expenses. A clear budget helps people or companies prepare for emergencies and avoid financial problems. What is the translation of budget? Who can tell me the meaning of the word budget? Correcto, Brigitte? Presupuesto. Okay, Roxy? Budget es presupuesto. And if you think about it, it is a financial plan, right? It's a strategy, right? It's a financial plan that organizes expected income. La palabra income, Jonathan, significa ingreso. Okay? Expected income, ingreso esperado. Es un plan financiero que organiza ingreso esperado y gastos esperados. O sea, ingresos y gastos esperados. It is created by analyzing earnings, setting priorities, and controlling expenses. Andrés, la palabra expense es gasto. Aquí está en plural, expenses. ¿Sí? Controlling expenses. A clear budget helps people or companies prepare for emergencies and avoid financial problems. What is the meaning of the word of the verb to avoid? Adrian, what is to avoid? To avoid. The meaning of the word to avoid, evitar. ¿Ok? Entonces, un presupuesto claro ayuda a las personas o a las empresas a prepararse para emergencias y evitar problemas financieros. Perfect. Andrés, help me out reading the definition of budget. Let's go.
A financial plan that organizes expect income and spending. It is created by
Quedémonos ahí, esto es spending. Financial, a financial plan. Financial plan. Okay.
Okay.
Ahora,
Financial
el verbo
plan.
organizar está en tercera persona. Organizes. A financial plan that organizes expected income and spending. Let's go.
Financial plan
That
that
organizes.
expect income and spending.
Okay. No digamos
It is
income. Expected income.
expected
income. There you go. It is created by analyzing. Go ahead.
It is created by analyzing earnings, setting priorities, and controlling expenses.
Está ahí.
A clear
Priorities. Prioridades. Priorities. Setting priorities. Repite conmigo. Setting priorities.
Setting priorities.
There you go. And controlling expenses.
And controlling expenses. A clear budget helps people or company prepare for emergencies. For
emergencies and avoid
financial problems.
Financial problems. Thank you so much. Then we have cost of living, Adrian. Okay, this is yours, so pay attention to this. Cost of living is the total amount of money required to pay for basic needs such as housing, food, transport, and healthcare in a specific place. It is influenced by local wages, inflation, and the availability of resources. A higher cost of living reduces how much people can save or invest. There's a couple of terms that I need to unpack here. The total amount, la cantidad total. Okay, Jonathan? Amount. Repeat after me, Jonathan. Amount.
Amount.
The total
Amount.
amount. There you go. Ahora, el verbo requerir, to require. Acá lo tenemos en pasado, es la misma pronunciación con una D leve al final, required. The total amount of money required to pay for basic needs, such as housing. Esa palabra, Adrián, such as, que me gustaría la dijeras como que fuera una sola palabra, such as, significa tales como, such as. Repite conmigo, Adrian, such as, como que fuera una sola palabra. Jonathan, such as. Roxy, such as housing. Correcto. Entonces ahí dice la cantidad de dinero requerida para pagar necesidades básicas tales como, eso significa, tales como vivienda, comida, transporte y salud en un lugar en específico. Es influenciado por, dice, local wages. La palabra wage significa ¿qué? ¿Qué significa la palabra wage? Wage, W-A-G-E. ¿Qué significa la palabra wage? ¿Significa, Roxy? Salario. ¿Ok? Wage significa salario. ¿Ok? La pregunta que puede surgir aquí, Roxy, entonces es, ¿cuál es la pregunta? Ingreso es income, Alejandra. La pregunta que puede surgir aquí, Roxy, Jonathan, es ¿cuál es la diferencia entre wage y salary? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre wage y salary? Porque los dos, si los buscas en un diccionario, significan salario. Wage es cuando te referís a salario en una temporalidad baja, como por ejemplo $20 la hora, $25 la hora. ¿Ok? Eso significa wage. What's your wage? Okay, my wage is $20 an hour. Salario mínimo, minimum wage. The minimum wage in the state of Florida is $15 an hour, $17 an hour, for example. I don't know what's the minimum wage in Florida. I don't know what the minimum wage in Florida is. I'm just giving an example, right? Cuando hablas en una temporalidad más estable y más larga, utilizas salary. Like if I ask you, what's your salary? My salary is $100,000 a year. You see, $100,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $60,000 a year. Okay, so when you have a stability, when something is more stable, y puedes hablar en estas temporalidades más largas, utilizas salary, más a largo plazo. ¿Se entiende esto? Does that make sense, guys? Yes? Roxy, is this clear? Yes? Adrian?
Yeah. Yes.
There you go. So, Adrian, help me out with cost of living.
Cost of living. The total amount of money required to pay for basic needs, such as housing, food, transport, and healthcare, in a specific place. It is influenced by local wage.
It is influenced.
It is influenced by local wage inflation and the availability of resource. A higher cost of living reduce how people can save or invest.
Okay, so resources. La palabra resource es recurso. Aquí la tengo, Adrian, en plural. Resources. Okay, so it says it is influenced by local wages, inflation, and the availability of resources. La palabra availability significa, ¿quién me puede decir qué significa la palabra availability? Disponibilidad. Availability, disponibilidad. Okay, so availability. Y el adjetivo cuando está disponible es available. Cuando tú estás disponible, you are available. Andrés, repeat after me. Availability.
Availability.
Available.
Available.
Jonathan, availability.
Availability.
Available.
Available.
Entonces ahí, Adrian, repetí después de mí, dice the availability of resources. The availability of resources.
Yes. The availability of resources.
Of resources. There you go. Let's continue. Savings. Let's go with savings. Savings is the portion of income that people do not spend but keep aside for future use. They are created by reducing unnecessary expenses, setting money aside regularly, and controlling a budget. Savings are important for emergencies, long-term goals, and financial security. Okay? So there's a lot of words we need to unpack here. The first one is but. Aquí dice, Roxy, the portion of income that people do not spend but keep aside for future use. Dice, la porción del ingreso que las personas no gastan. ¿Qué dice ahí? But. ¿Cómo traduces ese but?
Como mantienen, pero mantienen guardadas para su futuro.
Ok, vamos acá. Ok, porque la palabra but tiene tres usos. El primer uso significa pero y el segundo uso es este que está aquí, que significa si no.
No.
Y para yo poder usar but como si no, necesito primero una oración negativa y después una oración afirmativa. Básicamente lo que hace es contrastar. Dice acá, the portion of income that people don't spend but keep aside for future use. La porción del ingreso que las personas no gastan, sino que conservan para un uso futuro. Es si no. Y para yo poder usarlo como si no, nuevamente, Jonathan, yo necesito una oración en negativa y una oración afirmativa. Otro ejemplo sería, this will affect not only children, but adults too. Esto no va a afectar solo a los niños, sino también a los adultos. This will affect not only children, but adults too. ¿Viste? Entonces, but tiene un segundo uso que es si no. El tercer uso, Roxy, es excepto o menos. Es sinónimo de except. ¿Sí? Si yo te digo, por ejemplo, you did everything right, Roxy. You did everything right, but the first exercise. Hiciste todo bien, menos el primer ejercicio. Correcto. Hiciste todo bien, excepto el primer ejercicio. Entonces, en este caso, en el tercer uso de but, es sinónimo de excepto o sinónimo de menos. Does that make sense? Yo te digo, por ejemplo, Adrian, everyone knew about this but me. Todos sabían de esto, menos yo. Todos sabían de esto excepto yo. Everyone knew about this but me. Does that make sense? There you go. So, el uso que tenemos acá es but en calidad de si no. Okay, the portion of income that people don't spend but keep aside for future use. Keep aside es apartar. Apartar, reservar. Keep aside. Por ejemplo, tú me dices, I am going to keep aside some time for my class at night. ¿Viste? Voy a apartar un poco de mi tiempo en la noche para mi clase. I am going to keep some time aside at night for my classes. Does that make sense? Perfect. La palabra expense significa gasto. So they are created by reducing unnecessary expenses, setting money aside regularly, and controlling a budget. La palabra regularmente, regularly. Repite conmigo, Jonathan, regularly.
Regularly.
There you go. Regularly. Okay. Viene de regularly. Okay. There you go. Perfect. Long term, Jonathan, ¿qué significa long term? Cuando dice ahí long term goals. ¿Qué significa long term goals?
Tiempo para metas.
Ok, long term significa largo plazo. Ok. Entonces vos tenés tres tipos de plazo. Corto plazo, short term, mediano plazo, mid term y largo plazo, long term. Short, mid, long. Short, mid, long. Does that make sense, Roxy? Short term,
Yes.
mid term, long term. So, long term goals, metas a largo plazo. Porque la palabra goal es meta. ¿Sí? There you go, Bridget. Largo plazo. So, long term goals, metas a largo plazo. And financial security. Does that make sense? Perfect. So, let's continue with the word investment. Investment is the use of money with the expectation of generating profit or increasing value in the future. Investments are created by putting money into businesses, stocks, real estate, or other assets. They involve some level of risk, but can grow wealth over time. Okay. There's a couple of things to clarify here. The word expectation. Jonathan, ¿cómo traduces la palabra expectation? Expectation. Dice the use of money with the expectation. Expectation sería expectativa. Ok. Expectativa. El uso del dinero con la expectativa de generar profit. ¿Qué es profit? Profit es ganancia. Ok, ganancia. Tú tienes tu capital, tú pones a trabajar el capital, eso va a generar gastos o costos administrativos o de producción y la ganancia que saques, Roxy, eso es un profit. ¿Ok? Y cuando tu empresa o tu negocio tiene ganancias, quiere decir que es rentable. La palabra rentable en inglés es profitable. ¿Ok? Profitable. My business is profitable now. ¿Sí? Mi negocio es rentable ahora. My business is profitable. ¿Ok? So profit, ganancia, profitable, rentable. Jonathan, after me. Profit,
Profit.
profitable,
Profitable.
profitable. There you go. And then we have the word value. Profit or increase in value. What is value, Roxy? What is the word value?
Valor.
Y cuando algo es valioso, es valuable. Okay? So value, valuable. Value, valuable. Okay? Your time is valuable. Okay? You can always get your money back. You can never get your time back. Does that make sense? You can always get your money back, but you can never get this 24 hours. When you give your time away, you're giving your most important possession. It's a very valuable possession. Okay, there you go. So value, valuable. There you go. We have to become more valuable as individuals. What you're doing right now, you are becoming more valuable. How do we become more valuable? By having more skills, right? If you have more skills, you are able to fix more problems. And when you're able to fix problems, you become valuable to the society, to the marketplace. Does that make sense? And that's why you make more money. So always the question, if you want to make more money, if that is the question, the real question is, how do I become more valuable? Okay. Does that make sense, guys? That's how we become valuable.
Yes.
There you go. Then it says investments. Investment significa, ¿qué significa investment?
Inversiones.
Correcto. Inversiones. Investment, inversiones. Y viene del verbo invertir, to invest. To invest. So, inversión, Jonathan, investment. Y el verbo invertir, to invest. What you are doing right now, in this hour, you are investing your time, your energy, your effort, your money to learn English. You're investing your time, your money, your energy to learn and to reinforce your language because you know that if you make that investment, you will become more valuable. Does that make sense? Yes? Perfect. So, Jonathan, este es tu turno. This is your paragraph. The use of money with the expectation of generating profit or increasing value in the future. Investments are created by putting money into businesses, stocks, real estate, or other assets. They involve some level of risk, but can grow wealth over time. Let's go, Jonathan.
The use of money with the expectation of generating profit or increase
Profit. Not profit. Profit.
or increasing value in the future. Investments are created by putting money
Putting money into businesses,
into business,
stocks,
business stocks, real estate, or other assets. They involve
or other assets. There you go.
assets. They involve some
level of risk, but can grow wealth over time. El verbo involucrar, to involve. They involve. Okay? They involve. Repeat after me, Jonathan. They involve.
They involve.
Some level of risk. ¿Qué es la palabra risk? La palabra risk. ¿Qué significa la palabra risk?
Arriesgar.
Riesgo. Riesgo.
Riesgo.
There you go. Riesgo. Okay. So they involve some level of risk, but can grow wealth over time. Aquí hay una palabra que es asset. Okay. Asset. ¿Alguien sabe el significado de la palabra asset? Asset. A-S-S-E-T. Ahí está. Dice, or other assets. ¿Qué significa
Activo.
asset? There you go. ¿Ok? En la terminología de contabilidad o de las finanzas, you have assets and you have liabilities. Asset, liability. Activo y pasivo. Roxy. Asset, liability. Does that make sense? There you go. So there is a very famous book, Roxy. I know you are into personal development. I don't know if you have had the opportunity to read this famous book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a very popular book in personal finances. It's almost like a reference. And Robert Kiyosaki explains in a very simple way the difference between assets and liability. Asset is something that puts money in your pocket every month, and liability is something that takes money out of your pocket every month. Does that make sense? That's an asset and that's a liability. Asset puts money on your pocket every month, so it gives you money. And a liability takes money out of your pocket. Okay? So that is pretty much the premise and the difference between assets and liability. And he also explains in this book, Roxy, that rich people have the habit of buying assets. Like if they get $1,000, they will buy assets. What type of assets? Depends. Businesses, stocks, real estate, or any other type of assets. Poor people will buy liabilities. Like if you get $1,000, you will go on vacations, or you would buy a television or an iPhone. And the thing with liabilities, things like an iPhone, for example, or a car, they depreciate in value over time. So they lose value gradually over time. And assets appreciate in value. Does that make sense? So appreciate and depreciate, that's another feature. Okay, assets appreciate in values and liabilities depreciate in values. Rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. Does that make sense? Daniel is asking, if I get a house, that's the big debate. Okay, that's a big debate, Daniel 07, because if you get a house, some people consider a house an asset. Robert Kiyosaki considers the house a liability. Because, again, the premise is if it puts money in your pocket every month, then it's an asset, he says. And if it takes money out of your pocket every month, it's a liability. So you have to determine if you pay your mortgage, so it means it takes money out of your pocket every month. So based on Robert Kiyosaki, it's not my point of view. I think a house is an asset regardless. Okay, so but he says since this house is taking money out of your pocket every month, it's a liability and it's not an asset. It's an asset for the bank because the bank every month is receiving money from you. So that house is an asset in the bank's balance sheet, en el estado de cuentas balance sheet, in the bank's balance sheet, right? But I believe that what you're doing when you pay for your mortgage is buying an asset. And you can always sell that asset. You see, that's the difference between an asset and a liability. Like you can sell that asset, and typically you're gonna get a higher amount. You can always sell it. So for me, this is a very personal opinion. For me, a house is an asset. Okay, for me, it's an asset at a long term, but it is an asset. Does that make sense, guys? Perfect. Then we have expenses. Expenses is the cost of goods and services that a person or company pays to live or operate. They are created by daily needs like food, rent, and bills, as well as by lifestyle choices such as entertainment, and travel. Tracking expenses is essential for financial health. La palabra expense significa gastos. There you go, gastos. expenses. Okay? The cost of goods and services. So, Roxy, go ahead and help me out with this definition, expenses.
The cost of goods and service that a person or company pays to live or operate. They are created by daily needs like food, rent, and bills, and as well as by lifestyle choice such as entertainment and travel. Tracking expenses is essential for financial health.
There you go. Ok, muy bien. Una recomendación para todos en general. Cuando vos tengas un sustantivo con su adjetivo, léanlo como o menciónenlo como que fuera una sola palabra. ¿Ok? Por ejemplo, acá dice lifestyle choices. ¿Sí? Entonces lo leemos sin pausa. Lifestyle choices. Does that make sense? Es como desarrollo personal, personal development. No decimos personal, pausa, development. No, personal development. Casi como que fuera una sola palabra. Does that make sense? Leadership skills, personal development, lifestyle choices. ¿Ok? Ahora, esto que está aquí que dice as well as, significa así como también. ¿Ok, Adrian? As well as, así como también. ¿Ok? So, as well as, así como también, such as, tales como.
Recuerda suscribirte a nuestro canal y activar las notificaciones para estar al tanto de todo nuestro contenido. De igual forma, recuerda dejar en los comentarios cualquier tema o aspecto del idioma inglés que te gustaría que abordáramos en nuestros siguientes videos.